2011 feels like a year where not much has happened in the retail space. Yes, of course, Woolworth's back to Nigeria now, and earlier in the year we did see the federal government unban the import of garments. That has obviously a boost for retailers, but there's still a sense that retail is not where it should be in Nigeria. Why is that?
Well, I have mentioned this earlier to you. Retail is not an overnight growth in terms of business infrastructure point of view. In retail, we have always said there's a lot of opportunities in Nigeria, but to do retail business, we need infrastructure. 2005, we saw the opening of a shopping mall, Palms, in Lekki. It's taken us 6 years to get another one opened of an international standards in Ikeja. At this pace, we have no chance to grow retail at the opportunities which are available. Yes, you're right. It took us a lot of doing to get the government to look at the opening of unbanning the importation of the made-up garments. It's a chicken or the egg situation, really, for the developer. The developer has no clue whether he should build a 20,000 square meter mall or whether he should build a 50,000 square meter mall. The retailers make up the real tenants who would actually create the demand from the developer. It's good news that government unbanned the made-up garments, and it's great news to hear that Ikeja Mall is going to be the first shopping mall which is going to have many fashion brands. These fashion brands are, again, if you look at carefully, they're from South Africa. South Africa has a major impact on our retail industry in Nigeria, no doubt. But there are many other players worldwide. What is keeping them away is a question which I think we should keep asking. What is it they require? From the little I understand by interacting with international brands in the UK and the United States, some out of Far East, they always talk about retail space. Now, that's the major hurdle. And I personally believe we need to discuss that hurdle first.
Yeah, let's talk a bit about that. Obviously, real estate in a city like Lagos, it can be quite tough for retailers to be able to acquire real estate at a reasonable price and, of course, then build a business on that. What else can the government do to get things going?
I think the government should, first and foremost, from my point of view, is to encourage retail as an industry. In the recent economic programs which the government announced, quite aggressive, nowhere is it mentioned that retail is a sector which they should look at. I must state this for record once again, retail is the largest employer of human resources all over the world. And Nigeria is looking for creating jobs. And retail is the best sector. It doesn't require a lot of talent. It's easy to develop human capital in retailing. A good individual who is willing to work can become a great retailer. However, on the issues of government supporting retail, I personally believe the government should support the developers of real estate by giving them incentives because it needs a lot of capital. I understand from Ikeja Shopping Mall is a $100 million investment. That's a lot of money. I mean, that kind of investment would open many industries, but the government continues to be talking about manufacturing alone. But if you look at the investments today in the retail shopping malls, we're not taking into account the amount of investment the retailers would do in terms of their fittings and fixtures and their inventories, etc., etc. This is a $200 million investment for one outlet. Lagos is the major metro, but there are other metros, Port Harcourt, Abuja, Calabar, Enugu, and so on. But these metros, each of them can take 10 to 15 shopping malls, depending on its population, of course. The investment is huge, and I believe the government needs to really set up and talk to the retailers.
Okay, all that said, let's look forward into 2012. You've obviously highlighted the challenges, but what can we expect in the context of Nigeria's retail space as it is today? 2011,
we didn't make much progress, except for the government unbanning the made-up garments and the opening of Ikeja Mall towards the end of the year. However, 2012 looks very encouraging. There are quite a few several shopping centers and malls which have been opened. We as SPA will be opening about 4 outlets in 2012. I also must add that we have signed up with several international brands. Unfortunately, none of them are South Africans, but however, we got UK brands and some brands from the United States signed up, and we will be opening several fashion brands as well. And this, I personally believe, is going to be also very significant to the consumers, variety of options, price points, etc. available to them. We hope to see 2012 grow in retail.
And let's finally, can we just get your thoughts on the Nigerian consumer and the opportunity it provides? A lot has been said about the population, but we do know that over 60% of that population is poor. There is a middle class that is emerging. In this context, what are your thoughts on the Nigerian consumer space?
Again, if 30% of our population can buy from a formal retail environment, we're talking about 45 to 50 million people. That's much more than a population of South Africa. In South Africa, I mean, it's anyone's guess, we would be talking about 3,000 to 4,000 retail outlets. I mean, what have we got in Nigeria? We haven't even started. And I keep saying this again and again, we haven't even started. Let's talk about competition. Competition is only when the supply increases demand. The demand is huge. The demand is huge. I landed yesterday, and I can tell you this, the aircraft was full. And what did I see on the baggage belts? Huge, great number of bags, excess baggages. What is inside? Shopping. Why? We can offer you the same products in Nigeria over the period of time. I personally believe Nigeria is a great country. The consumer is open-minded. He's got the money. He's willing to spend. All he needs is right product at the right price and great service, which I believe is to do with any consumer all over the world.